It's time to dad.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Joe with Time to Dad. I am here tonight with Nick, Josh, and Jason, and we are not going to repeat anything that's been said in between episodes.
There.
But we're having, as always, we have an awesome time when we get together and just be able to bring some stuff to you. We have some fun stuff we're here to talk about. Maybe a few conversations that might start some arguments down the road, and social media and all that stuff, status symbols.
Say it. Jason, say it.
I'm going to bring up, no, we're not going to talk about Taylor Swift yet. But we have some hurt souls with things going on.
Fucking bitch.
Fucking see. But listen,
Let's
great
go,
to have
Joe.
you guys back with Time to Dad. We're here. Listen, we're going to talk about social media fakeness. I think can definitely start off pretty good. We got Jason on the beats there.
He's gonna fucking sue us too. Watch it.
I think it's
something we don't have any money.
It's a good one to bring us in here with with everything going on. We were talking about Taylor Swift a little bit before, and not that she's got social media fakeness and all her money, but we know sometimes other people that maybe
Zero influence.
But I don't know. What do you guys think about it all? Who wants to chime in there?
Which would Taylor Swift or fake social media lives?
Wherever you want to go.
Oh,
Maybe we'll
Lord.
stick to social.
Okay, we'll save
on, Nick. Don't you have
Taylor
a
for
stream,
the grand closing. Oh man, I don't know where to start with that. It's like
I mean, or to me, what it seems like is, I see a lot of people from my hometown on social media, and one thing that I've come to a conclusion of that I've caught on is they talk about how great their life is, and they're always posting about their spouse and stuff like that. Usually, to me, that draws a lot of red flags.
yeah.
Because I know their life is not that great.
Funny.
They're probably on the rocks with their spouse.
Isn't that weird? That's a thing,
that's the thing.
right?
It seems like the more that you're on the rocks, or the more that the more shit-tastic that your life is, the more you seem to post about how great it is. Yeah. So that's just
When you start seeing a lot of posts, then you're like counting down until they get divorced.
yeah,
That's like
exactly.
the thing.
And then you post, well, I don't know what happened. I don't know what.
I mean, I don't want to discourage
went wrong,
everybody
but
that posts like that,
Can't
because
imagine.
there are some legit couples out there that's just their way of life, right? But I would say
that's fine.
the majority is exactly what you guys just described. Like, if you're making your life out to be so filled, with shit and sunshine and
God,
rainbows
Nick, God.
on social media, then I start questioning. I'm like, is your life really that fantastic?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I just get my biggest thing is when we're doing something cool, exciting with our son, or when our daughter was still living in Virginia or in Richmond anyway, I don't take pictures of shit usually. I'm just there absorbing the moment, right? Using
Exactly.
my photographic
Same.
memory to bank shit for later in life. So I just get annoyed where with people that just document every damn thing about their kids' lives. And I'm like, all I see is you behind a camera recording your kid having this awesome friggin' experience when you could have just been there experiencing it with them.
Yeah.
And made a post later, I'll take one, for my son's birthday at the museum. I snapped a few pictures just for keepsake. And my post was just Emerson had a great time. I didn't post a 10-minute video of me following him around the children's museum, doing all the cool shit, because I was following him around doing all the cool shit with him.
Right.
So it just kind of grinds my gears when I just see. I think parents miss the opportunity to really, with all the technology and how easy it is to record a video, they're just not, I don't think they're present enough. And I think we touched on that earlier in another episode about just being present and turning off your technology and just living in that moment. And that's kind of what my life's about. So it kind of bugs me when I see those posts.
So hear me out, Nick. So, because we did an episode about how I smoked weed and meditate and all that in the moment shit. So to me, I understand it, and I'm very much in tune with experiencing them on my kid. But on the flip side, which is very ironic, I'm not talking about something that I have to post online necessarily, but when if my wife, I mean, I guess that was a different situation where she went to the museum and I wasn't necessarily there, but sometimes I'll go back if I do catch it on my phone. I go back and I watch him experiencing or like reacting to a moment, and I'll tear up more than in the moment itself.
Yeah.
Like, I get very emotional watching.
Way to make me feel like a
my
dick.
son. No. It's interesting.
Yeah, my wife and I just did
dichotomy.
that last night. So yeah.
No, I mean,
we have the luxury of capturing them.
I mean, we posted a lot of like, I say we. My wife posted a lot of the like cutesy videos of Emerson when he was a kid, when he was still in the babble phase, when he was still like, you know, it's 2 a.m. and we're in bed with him because he won't sleep and he's just being the cutest little ball of shit you've ever seen. And those will come up on our feed and I'll watch it, and it, you know, you get a little I don't know what the fuck word I'm looking for. You get a little teary-eyed about that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about the parents that are just, everything's recorded and you document fucking everything to the point of where I could tell you that kid's like exactly what that kid did Monday through Sunday. Like they post that much about it.
Well, and with my wife, like when everyone has their first kid, they tend to take pictures, and stuff with that. But then my wife started her business up, and of course we're trying to show off all the amenities for kids and stuff like that. And I think probably a year ago, it occurred to my wife how much she was missing out with the kids because she was so busy trying to get pictures of the kids playing or video of the kids playing and posting it for her business account, that on this last trip that we had on the cruise, she didn't do as much. Like, yeah, she got pictures of the kids watching the pirate show. She got pictures of the kids playing at the splash pad. But then as soon as she did, she put her phone down and she was in the moment with them.
You're present, and that's kind of what you're saying. So it's just the challenge is, I feel like it's just we try, and maybe it's because, right, and this is kind of going back to maybe, you see other people do it, so you feel you need to do it, right, and things like that, and especially if you're in your own business and stuff, like sometimes that becomes a little bit more there, but yeah, it is like you see parents there. One lying about what's really going on, and
right,
and then it's posting like this, and I guess kind of where sometimes you see the funny people like Instagram pic and then reality pic, right? You see that, and it's like, but they're doing that as a joke one time out of 100, and
right,
and unfortunately, yes, not being there present with the kids and so focused on getting that perfect picture, it's like, just let it be. Just whatever happens, drop the apple shirt and call it a day.
Well, sure. And I think also because pictures and videos and all this posting has become so much and so easy, I kind of feel like not only the moments, but also the pictures and the memories have become devalued now. Because I know growing up, I grew up poor. We didn't have a camera. So like the few pictures we have of us as kids, we value them because we didn't have that.
But the thing is, poor, not poor, modern day, past day, your friggin' memory you'll remember that shit. Like
until you get some sort of
this day, I
disease.
can maybe it's just my weird photographic memory because people tell me I have like a crazy photographic memory. But I can still remember shit we don't have pictures of as kids, or we don't have videos of that were like super important moments to me. I mean, your brain is going to do, and unless you're like older and you got, mental things going on that are causing you to have memory issues, you're going to remember those things. And sure, it's nice to pop out, pull out a video on your phone and look at it. But I don't know. I'm from day one when Emerson was born, because I didn't get to do all the like beginning stuff with Lily, right? Because she didn't move here until she was a lot older. But from day one, that was like my goal, was to not be behind my damn phone. I wanted to be participating. I wanted to be a part of why that moment was so special for the kids. So I don't know. It's just a personal thing of mine where I'll take a couple pictures, and I know Jen gets upset because she's a photographer, so she's always taking pictures, and we have a fuck ton of pictures of like me with the kids and nephews, or my mom or their aunts and uncles with them, but we don't have a lot of Jens. So the only thing I make a point to try and take pictures of are pictures of Jen doing things with Emerson, because she's behind the lens so much, it just doesn't happen. So once she told me it bothered her that there weren't a lot of pictures of her and him, I've been conscious of that. But other than that, I really just try not to take. I don't even like to bring my cell phone out.
Yeah, it's funny because like my wife with her business account, and then she also runs a Facebook group. Some of her best posts get the most reaction drawn to them are the ones where she's just being real and she's not being fake. Oh, greatest life ever. No, she's being like, today's a struggle. Kids are being dicks.
Yeah, I like those.
Someone help me,
because you can relate.
And she's real. It's like, and I think it's also funny because like I'm thinking about doing this for our next trip on my Instagram account, to where she posts like, oh, we're driving to Florida, we're going through this state, we're here, and then on the back end, I want to be like behind the scenes, like, okay, this is what really is going on here. She's snoring asleep. My ass has been up for 16 hours.
The kids are having a slugfest in the back seat.
I'm on back seat. I am cracked out. I just made my coffee with some Red Bull and some cocaine. So hopefully we'll make it there soon.
So Josh, this is some real shit that I saw. Like, this is a dad at Disney.
Sunrise. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, what's the point of even road tripping a ride? Just so you're the first one on. Like, whoa, cool. Get a break. Being up this early, surrounded by this many people, should literally be illegal. I'm not even kidding. Thank God we got that ride in at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm so
I like seeing real shit like that. Like real shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I found that very funny because it was just it was real. It was like it was your actual reaction, your actual experience on a vacation, as opposed to what it's supposed to be and what you're supposed to be posting about.
There is.
So that the fact that resonates.
People always, you tell people at work you're going on vacation, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Good for you. And when you're a fucking parent with young kids, there is no vacation. It's just, you're doing the same shit with your kids and going through the same everyday struggles. You're somewhere, you're not in your fucking house, right? But it's the same damn thing, right? And I try to explain that to, like, we've got a couple guys at the office that don't have kids, and I'm like, man, like, you don't understand. Like, it's a vacation from work, but you still have all the day-to-day stuff to deal with the kids and the family and the wife. It's a brief getaway, but it's not a complete getaway.
Yeah, it's like it's just like on our last trip, we went on a cruise. And not only do we have our kids, but we also had her parents come, which her parents had her late in life. So they're pushing 80.
I remember you talking about that.
So we also had to get them around too. So essentially it was 2 on 5. There's 2 of us taking care of 5 of them.
Tough.
Oh man.
That's tough.
It's just, it was beating. It's beating. But the memories we made, because most likely the chance of us doing a trip with them like that again with all the grandkids is slim to none. Because they're pushing 80. Their health's not that great, so we got good pictures. We got memories, so was it the greatest trip ever? No. Was it a good experience? Yes. So if I had to do it again, I'd do it all by myself, or my wife and I would do it just us.
I could do a whole topic on that, like Disney with with Russell, just Russell at 9 months. I mean, Disney's fucking stressful as fuck.
Wait,
man.
you took him in 9 months?
And now, We took him twice.
Oh,
He's
man.
been
Yeah, so we
twice.
haven't even done it yet with ours.
Not by choice. We took him the first time at 9
Not by
months.
choice. You
Because,
ended up there.
no.
Actually, I personally think it was easier to take him as babies, like because
Yeah.
we took my son at 4 months.
Yeah. So we took him at 9 months. We took him at 9 months because we had booked it as a single married couple. Well, as a married couple without kids, not expecting kids, and then she got pregnant, so we pushed it off, like transferred it within 12 months.
Right.
And then we went because it's like it's going to expire. And when we were there, remember that fucking hurricane that just covered the whole state of Florida?
Oh,
that was day 3 of,
Was that
of my
Michael?
Disney trip.
Oh no shit!
When was it? What year was it?
It was two. My Russell's.
Oh,
only
that's
2,
right.
So it was in the last 2 years.
Yeah, so it was just a few years
Yeah.
ago. I
It
remember
was
that.
huge. So Disney was
Yeah,
like,
that was
Disney's
awesome.
like, you can use your tickets. You don't have to. They're going to suspend their, like, you got to use it within 2 weeks. So we had to use that within 12 months again. So then we took him again. So he's been twice at under 2, and the second time we didn't have like grandma or my sister who's like a freak with Disney, so she can kind of navigate. And it was stressful as fuck. And like just trying to do it the way you're supposed to do it and maximize shit with lines, and it's like a very organized process. And I love it. I love Disney, but man, it's stressful as fuck with kids. And now like they're trying to plan doing that again in November, and my dad drives a school bus, so we're trying to do it at Thanksgiving time. And I'm thinking about the lines at that. I'm like,
Yeah, and
fucking,
that's-
damn
hey,
it, man.
hey,
Damn it,
hey,
stressful.
Jason.
And now I got
Jason, you know
2.
who to call. Jason, you know who to call now.
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
Oh, fuck that.
See, we haven't done Disney, and like I don't know, our philosophy was like we wanted to wait until they were old enough to like remember it
Yeah,
themselves a little bit.
experience it and
Yeah,
create the memory.
So yeah, like my son's 2.5 now, but now we're having the other one in 2 months, right? So it's like I don't know,
Yeah.
like I don't know if we're gonna go until the second one is 3, and then
Well, you have to remember they're free before 3. So if they're 3. If they're under 3, then they're free.
Well, that
Yeah,
changes.
so that was
things.
another
Shit.
reason
well,
another
Yeah,
reason we were
that changes the
we
price
were
big time.
another
Huh?
reason we were okay to do it, because in Magic Kingdom they can do most of the rides
Yeah.
at any age.
how much does it
Yeah,
cost for them if they're over 3?
Woo.
How
It's
much
almost
does-
like paying for like another adult.
Yeah,
it really
it is.
is.
I don't think there's a
It
difference.
really is. There's not much of a
So
price
take
difference.
my
man.
second one when you're saying at 2.5, so he's free.
I would say this: take him the day before he turns 3, so that way
What
you're
are they,
definitely not
check
lying.
birth certificates?
So when he checked,
Oh,
no,
well,
they don't
fuck.
check birth
Take him when he's
certificates. I mean, no,
4 then.
yeah, it'd be smaller.
They do use
Take him
your
when he turns
fucking
3
fingerprint.
and just needs 2. I mean, yeah, he's like, he turns 3 whenever we get back home. You know,
Okay, that's kind of like we
Ain't
have
much of a birth certificate.
Adventureland by us. It's a little thing, yeah. And they were like, "Oh, 2 and under is free," and the guy's like, "He's under 2, right?" And we're like, "No, he's like, he's under 2, right?" We're like,
All right.
Yeah,
Since
he's
you're
under
bending my
2,
arm, I
right?
love that.
"Yeah."
I remember that as
Yeah.
a kid. Kids like
Mhm.
6 and under eat free, and your mom's like, "All right, you're 5 tonight."
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you have
They're
ponchos
driving.
We
up
don't have
there?
ponchos here.
Hiding in the trunk at
You
the
don't have ponchos?
drive-in.
I've
Oh,
never
man.
done that.
Because like if you were by yourself
Oh, yeah.
in the car, it's like
We used to lay down in the back of the
Oh,
truck
yeah.
and pull a tarpo
there was
over us and
nobody.
hide.
No, there
Yep.
was nobody in that fucking car. It was just you by
Wait,
yourself.
they charge
going
you
to
per
drive-in like a
person
weirdo.
at the drive-in?
They
Ah.
used to.
They
Yeah,
used to.
Around here,
Yeah.
they charge by the car.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Um,
they changed it, but yeah, that was a
The
thing.
whole
where-
point of a drive-in, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
to pay-
Yeah, that's a point drive. So okay, so down here in Texas, we had a restaurant called Ponchos. It's a Mexican buffet.
Mexican buffet.
kids
Where has that
600.
been all my life?
Mexican
I've
buffet.
never heard of a Mexican
Dude,
buffet.
it is like
Oh my
well,
god!
there's only
Oh,
one left
geez.
now because they went bankrupt. But there's only one left now. But my Aunt Margie used to babysit us and a bunch of other kids. We were all under 6. She would load us all up and take us to Ponchos because kids ate free under 6. So this lady comes walking in with like 10 kids. They lost their ass on us.
Do you guys have Shoney's, or did you have Shoney's? Yeah,
We used to have Shoney's.
when I was younger, my parents they'd take us there for like the breakfast buffet, because when we were growing kids and we were eating our weight in food every day. Oh my God, they'd take us there and we would just unleash hell on the Shoney's buffet.
So the last time I went to Ponchos, we actually got kicked out. I was in high school. Me and the whole offensive line went. And their thing is like, if you need anything, you just raise the flag. And they had this little Mexican flag on the table, and you raised it, and Mexican flag. And the waitress came by. Hey, what do you need? And they bring it to you. We kept raising the flag every time she walked away, because we were like, there was like 10 of us, and she probably took our flag away, cussed at us, walked to the back, threw the flag, and we heard it bounce around the kitchen. And then the manager comes out and goes, "Guys, y'all are gonna have to leave."
I've never heard of a Mexican buffet. That sounds amazing.
Yo, dude.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
it used to be
fajitas,
good.
you got beans, tortillas.
You had like fajitas,
Taco meat.
enchiladas,
Damn.
tacos. You made like your own tacos, man. It was so damn good.
Then
So
then all they need is like an
yeah.
endless margarita.
You just bring your own margarita in a bucket.
All right, so we're gonna open a Time to Dad Mexican buffet. Is what I'm hearing.
Let's do it. Fuck it.
That's what
And that would kill in
that's what
Long
I'm
Island.
hearing.
Man. That would kill it in Long Island, or go bankrupt like they did.
Is Mexican food big there? I don't see a lot of Mexican when I'm in New York, or maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, because you're in the city. You come out to Long Island, it's
You should try Arizona.
yeah, there's a lot.
Or Texas.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know.
I've been to Texas. You know, I actually had some of the best damn crawfish I've ever had in Texas.
Dude, if you're close to the Louisiana border, you get some damn good
I
crawfish.
went there
man.
with my aunt, and they brought like those. If you've ever worked like in a restaurant, those big ass like fucking buckets with handles that they like take ice around in. But you pay by like how full you want the bucket. Like no, you pay by the bucket. So you get like a quarter. Yeah, you'd get like a quarter, a half, 3/4, or a full fucking. And I mean, it's like a tall ass bucket. And where
the fuck was this?
It was right outside of Houston. And they'd pull the paper across the table, and they'd bring your fucking bucket of crawfish out, dump it. And they probably had like 40 different types of cocktail sauce and tartar sauce you could pick from. Dude, I was in heaven.
What was that?
I don't know. God rest her soul. She passed away, or I'd ask her. But I can ask her partner. She might remember where it was. But it was freaking delicious.
So in my hometown, I grew up in Deep East Texas, about, I'd say 75 to 90 miles away from the Louisiana border. Well, there's a town about 45 minutes away from where I live that we'd always go to get our crawfish, a little town called Big Sandy. And they have fresh crawfish brought in every day. They cook it. But not only that, but they have tamales that they cook in the crawfish boil.
That sounds delicious.
Good.
And messy.
And the thing is, not only do they cook the crawfish down in there, they also cook the shrimp. They did whole mushrooms, whole potatoes, whole corn on the cob. Like,
I want to do a like legit Louisiana crab boil one day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh, hell
maybe that when we should do when we do it. There's a lot of things we want to do when we do our meeting.
Actually, you know what? I just had a good friend of mine. She just moved down to New Orleans to go to school. New Orleans, and she's from Texas. Actually, she's originally from Louisiana, but they do a crawfish bowl every year. I can holler at her and see if she'll let us come and join in.
I'm all about it. Louisiana has some good. Every video I watch of boils, it's like Louisiana, and I'm like, damn. I wish I lived closer to the salt water. Yeah,
the coast. But the thing is, the thing is, the sea life in the Gulf is different from the sea life in the Atlantic and the Pacific, because the Gulf is warm water. So it's, but I worked in Louisiana for 2-3 years, And that's one thing I miss, man, is the food. Like the seafood was cheap and it was delicious.
Yeah, we
Like,
can
it was
get it
every
here.
night.
Like we can get local stuff from the Atlantic, but you're gonna pay a premium for it because it's about an
same
hour,
here.
hour and a half from the coast here.
I got an idea. To our Louisiana listeners on our podcast, if you're listening, shoot us a message to let us know when you're going to do a big crawfish.
We'll do it. We'll do
and
it.
we'll come out and we'll bring you on the podcast and we'll eat some food and maybe that'd be a good time.
Oh, I'd
That'd
be
be a
down
good
for
time.
that.
Oh man, I could kill some crawfish, man. Woo! I like it
Ooh,
spicy too.
yeah,
If it ain't
if my
burning-
nose is
yeah.
not
If
like
it ain't
running
burning-
constantly, it's not
Yeah.
spicy, you know.
But it's got to burn. It's got to burn just as
Oh,
much
for
coming
sure.
out as it
For
did
sure.
going in. Okay.
I could
Yeah.
definitely like put my dead people in above ground and ruin a Six Flags. I'm all in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll do it, man. Like you'll be sitting on the toilet the next day with a scoop of ice cream and I think a chapstick. You're not sure what.
Louisiana makes no sense. There's no like New Orleans. There's no point. Like why would you do that? Why would you build something underground, like
Why
under
not,
sea
man?
level?
Well, it's because originally it was a major port of shipping, so that's how it kind of came to be.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like
Josh, I feel like there's so much
Vegas.
history inside your
What's up?
brain that like every time there's a podcast, you like always have like a fact about something. I'm like, how the hell is this guy know this
We have a
fact?
guy at work that's forever
just read,
doing that.
man.
Like, we
Uh,
call
just
him the
read,
DJ,
man.
and he plays like me, him, and the other two guys that are there regularly in the office, not working from home. We all like to listen to like some classic rock, and so he'll play songs, and then out of fucking nowhere, he'll just throw out this fact about a song, and we're like, what? How the fuck do you know all this? Or today somehow we got on the topic of canning fucking foods, right? And how it's kind of like a lost art. And he's like, oh, well, I've canned and I still can. And he's like, yeah, when you can tomatoes, you have to put a little bit of, I think it was lemon or lime juice in there. And we're like, why the fuck would you do
Yeah,
that? And he was like, well, I don't recall exactly, but I know that's what you got to do. And he fucking Googles.
Acidity.
it's because the acidity keeps certain
apparently,
bacteria away. That's why.
tomatoes are inherently
Yeah.
like
You weren't
house
with me.
botulism. No, but he's always throwing out like these random ass fucking facts, and we're like, dude, you would crush it at like a trivia night. And he's like, no. And then he throws out some random fucking fact you never thought somebody would know.
You know, it's trivia night started back in Louisiana.
Yeah,
in
exactly. And we're like, what the hell, dude? It's fucking hilarious.
No, dude, like okay, so like growing up, like I said, I was semi-poor, so for fun, I would read the encyclopedia. Like I would go like by letter and read the encyclopedia
Are
for
you being
shits and
serious
giggles.
right now?
That's like
I got a
Dead
question,
serious.
Josh. So, like, I think it's an interesting topic, right? Because I deal with obviously finances all the time, and right, you hear people coming from different backgrounds, and like when you say semi-poor, what is that like?
That's what it means, Joe. Okay? Drop it, Joe. Drop it.
I mean, I mean, we were dirt floor, but we were pretty damn close, you know. Growing up, so my bedroom shared a wall with my parents, so I heard a lot of their conversations at night. And I, at an early age, I became very aware of like how tight
Rule
their
number one,
money
man,
was. So
don't
like
talk
when they would
about
ask,
money
like,
in front of the kids because they're always listening.
you know, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think there's certain ways and certain times to talk about money.
I'm not saying
front of
I'm not
kids.
saying don't talk about money and teach them responsibility. I'm saying don't if you're in a tough spot, don't have that conversation within earshot of your kids.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Well, I don't think my parents would realize that I could hear through the
yeah.
wall, you know, and so. But I realized at an early age how tight that our finances were. So I was like, I just quit asking for
and
stuff. I was like,
that's
"No, I got
why.
it,
That's the
fine."
only reason I say that is because kids are always listening, man, and that like good on you for being of age and mature enough to realize that, but you just don't. That's not your kid's burden to bear, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, I know, but and they didn't mean to put it on me, you know, and I don't blame them for it. but also I think it helped me as like an adult because it drives my wife nuts how frugal that I am. Like, I'm not like cheap, but I'm just frugal. I literally right now, like, I need some new running shoes because literally every pair of running shoes I have, the sole is gone and there's
My
holes in
soul
them.
is gone too.
Like, I literally ran until, yeah. Well, my soul left a long time ago when I got into healthcare. But that's a different story. But like it drives her nuts because like she keeps asking me, you know, she's like, well, don't you just want a newer truck instead of trying to fix that old truck? No, that truck's perfectly fine. I can work on it. It's cheap to work on.
I don't need a $20,000 computer system to work on it.
Right. Yeah. I don't want a $2,000 a month truck payment, you know, while that truck is paid for. I don't care what it looks like. But it's paid for, you know, and that's kind of the way I was raised. You know, you only buy what you absolutely need, you know? So I mean, that's,
like this Apple Watch, this watch, so that when my phone rings, I don't miss a call. It vibrates on my wrist. I need that.
Dude,
I need that.
I think that's called
need.
a want versus a need.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. You're an you said asset versus a liability. Is that what we're talking about, Joe? So
who's an ass? What?
What'd you call me?
Who's an ass? What?
Taylor Swift.
Call me an ass hat?
Well, I mean, he's got that hair. Well, I mean, the hair right down the middle kind of does look like an ass crack with some shit in it. But
no. So we were talking. We were talking in chat. What were we talking about? We were talking about reoccurring debt and building debt versus you know, scrambling to wipe all your debt out and be debt free and all that. But Joe, you've got a pretty significant financial background.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, listen, when it comes to debt, right, I always tell everybody, at the end of the day, the most important thing is the way you view it, your mental health, and the way you look at it, right? Like, some people, they don't give a crap that they're in debt. They just want to maybe have the fake social media stuff because that makes them say good. Now, I'm not telling people to do that, but what I'm saying is sometimes, right, people drop everything in the world to get themselves out of debt, and then they're miserable. And then what happens is now they've created a habit that they got nothing to do except they got out of debt, but now they're miserable humans and they've changed who they really were, right? Because we change based on our habits. And if that was their habit, working constantly or ruining their marriage or something like that, you know, there's got to be a balance just like in everything. But what I was kind of talking about in the chat is, right, there's a big push to always be debt free, pay off your mortgage, do this, do that. And now some of the people that bought houses like recently at 8%, 7%, 6%, yes, pay that off. But, you know, when it comes to like a mortgage debt, there's ways to make money when you're in debt, right? And there's good debt and bad debt. And there's simple ways to look at it. There's hard ways to look at it. You know, like simple way is if the debt's less than 7%, it's not a terrible debt. If it's higher than 7%, it's a bad debt.
That's total debt or for one particular thing.
Or like, well, I mean, listen, if you have a credit card at 20%, you got to do whatever the hell you got to do to pay off that 20% credit card, right? But if you have a car loan or
preach, Joe, preach it. Buy cars,
right? That's what I did it, Jason. Right, a car loan that's at
liabilities, baby. Let's roll. Let's go.
You can make money while you're in debt, right? Like
you could drive a
because you
car.
can reallocate what you would have put to paying that off. That'll make you more money.
Correct. And I'll give a quick example because rates, you know, the world's a little bit weird right now, but you can go get a CD. Right now, I'm not a huge fan of CDs because it locks your money up, but you know, like CDs
you cannot touch, right? Until it clears whatever period. Yeah.
So I'd say it's a 12-month period, right? But like right now, you can go get a CD that's guaranteeing you 5%. So if you have a debt that's 2.5% or 3%, well, instead of paying off the debt, I can actually put money in a CD or an investment that will make a profit.
Oh, you can net 2.5% while still paying down the debt, just not like paying it off at an alarming rate.
If that debt gives you a tax write-off, well, now you're even saving more money. And you're going to utilize that in other areas. So, like, for example, like my house is at my mortgage rate's 3.3.
All right.
My long-term investments, right? I know my
You
long-term investments.
refinanced in the Rona fiasco, didn't you?
Well, that's when we bought that house.
I missed that boat.
Yeah. 3.0, Joe, suck it. All right,
Yeah.
how about that?
I'm at 4%.
I got a valuable CD right here.
Taylor Swift. She does not have to worry about debt. That's for sure. But
Prince
I
money.
will tell you one thing. Like, so Taylor Swift, like, I'll give you an example. Even somebody with that much money, right? Like, if they're going to go buy a property, right, and they get a debt for 3%,
She
they're not
better
going to
pay cash.
Well, she could pay cash, or
Cash buyer's market right now, Joe. That's what I keep hearing.
Or use the interest as a write-off for her normal income.
yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
listen, she can make 10% in her investments, and she's going to pay the bank 3%. She's making 7% on the house
Ugh.
and getting the tax. You know, it's-
I don't have that kind of
That's-
money.
How do I get
That's-
around these?
no.
How do I get around these caps, Joe? They're capping me in how much I can invest annually, because if I can compound the interest and put it into a index fund,
Roth.
then what? How do I get around that shit, Joe? What's the trick?
Well, are you maxing out your Roths, as Nick just said there first?
Well, yeah, I'm saying I know there is a max. I'm not saying I'm maxing it out, but how do I unmax it? Where can I stuff that shit?
Well, you do Roth for yourself, then you do the Roth for your spouse, right? Even if they don't have income.
Wait. If your spouse is
Your
working,
kids
can you
can make-
contribute to their Roth?
Yeah, even if they're not working. My wife doesn't work, but we contribute.
What? No, I said if they are
Joe.
working. So working or not, you can
Well, then they
max
already
out their Roth as
whatever they
well.
want.
Always.
Oh,
You can hire your kids.
game changer.
12,500, Joe. Right? I can hire my kids.
Actually, that went up this year. It's 14.5
I
now
hire my kids. I'm gonna make a
for your kids.
LLC and hire my kids.
Tax-free.
Let's
I
go.
didn't know that. I didn't know you could contribute to your
Yeah.
spouses. Ah.
Yeah. So but the thing is with the kids is you have to prove like they're working. Like for us, since we use our kids on on her business Instagram page, there are
Ooh.
models. So and also we found out through our tax guy that anything we do with them. So like example, because we had to transport them down to Disney World to get pictures. We could write off the gas as a business
That's a lot of
stretching
fucking
it,
gas,
bro.
bro.
That's
That's a lot of
stretching it.
fucking gas.
I
No,
see
it's not
all
sketch.
in your future.
They all do it. They all. I'm telling you right now, all the big name people do it.
Listen, I always
I'll tell you right
say
now.
it around, Josh, right? There was when Trump was getting investigated for his taxes years ago, right? Donald Trump, right? It's because he had so many businesses that there's all
Who's
these.
that? Never heard of him.
Never heard of him, right? But they're all legal loopholes that when you own businesses, you have these tax write-offs, and that's just what all the billionaires and millionaires are utilizing, the tax codes that they created. We just need to find out the little ways on a small scale that we can use it, right? And those are the little things. Hiring your kids have to have earned income. If they have earned income,
Right.
you could have a Roth IRA, right? So even if your spouse doesn't have earned income, if you're married, it's a spousal IRA, so you can still invest into their Roth IRA, right? So there's all those, those things as well that you can utilize.
Well, it also going back to the car sale. Like you own a business. If you buy a car that is
Let's go back
over
to
what's
car
the
sales.
gross
If
weight?
anybody needs a Hyundai,
yeah.
come see
5,000 pounds curb weight.
Is it? Yeah, if it's over 5,000 pounds on the curb weight,
100%.
there's a certain amount of
100%.
write-off that you get.
It's
Is it
100%.
100%?
So what
So
are
you're
those
right.
cars, Jason, that are over 5,000? Sorry, one
Well,
second.
you got
Well, it's usually most your SUVs
I don't
and
sell
your
that
heavy.
minivans.
Hyundai's talking about making trucks. That's gonna
so
be a
people
thing.
buy
We'll
like
get-
the G wagons over that. So if you're talking
But-
luxury, the G wagons over that. Most of your Yukons, your Suburbans, most of those bigger third rows. Shit, my
Sequoia- a
Durango's
Sequoia
my
could go
Durango's
5,000 for
5,500.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a Sequoia could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about a Kia
Hybrid.
Carnival? Kia
For
Carnival?
sure. For sure.
Yes, it should. Yeah, for sure. Because that's what we were trying to do with ours.
Let's
but
not
our
forget
tax
the
guy actually
Hyundai
recommend-
Palisade. 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. In case
It's
you're
a
wondering.
Kia
Plug-in what he
tell you
sells.
right.
Yeah.
It's made on the same line.
If anybody
It's a
needs a
Kia.
Interested in the
Hyundai, hit
calligraphy?
Jason up. He's got you.
I may or may not work for the largest Hyundai dealership in New England if you're interested, but if you want to
Come on down.
they're okay. They're okay. Calligraphy, we got a red one. Go ahead.
But Jason, we should just have start doing commercials in between the breaks of the episodes, and that'll
You
go
said it.
through.
There you
There
go.
you go. Maybe you can start getting paid by
Your
Hyundai.
dealership,
This
they'll
portion
pay
of-
us.
Jake,
This portion of Time for Dad is paid for by McGovern Hyundai Route 2. Go ahead.
We do need some sponsors.
Jason,
we do need some sponsors.
Jason, was that a Hyundai tramp stamp that I saw on your lure back there, buddy?
I had somebody ask me about the tramp stamp. So if a girl's got a tattoo on her neck at like that point, I said, is that like a high end tramp stamp? So
That's a
I
good
should have
question.
laughed
actually.
because my wife has
it was a
both
real
areas
talk,
tattooed.
because my guy Dale, he was next door at like a coffee shop, Honeydew Donuts. I don't know if you have those in the
Honeydew
South, but
Donuts.
Nah.
Honeydew Donut.
Is that when your
is
wife
part- is like
texts
a
you
ga-
at like 10 o'clock on Saturday, like, hey, while you're out, give me some
Mhm.
goddamn donut?
Yeah, that's the honey. Yeah, exactly. But she had a tattoo, and it was like up around the shoulders, like, but on her neck, and it was a cross. And he's like, "What does that mean?" Because he knows that like a tramp stamp means
Jesus.
something.
That's what it means.
So if anybody has any answers out there on the high end tramp stamp, I'd be interested.
Well, my wife has a friend that she went to school with, and all the females in that family, when they turn 18, they go and get the family crest tattooed on the back of their
Okay.
neck. Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
high-end.
But it's their family thing. Yeah,
High
it's-
end.
I don't know.
High end.
But anyways, circling back to finances, Joe.
Take it away.
Well, there we go.
Take it away, Joe.
All right.
So,
I don't have
Wait.
a
So, all
commercial.
right. When is recirculating debt too much debt? Because I read all these articles that are like, you should be
I'm
spending
always circulating.
this
that.
much on an automobile, financing an automobile, and this percentage of your income should go to
It's all
housing.
fucking bullshit.
And I'm way under that, right? And
Yeah.
when
It's all
I
fucking
when I
bullshit.
take my
And I
income
explain
and I
finance-
use those numbers, I'm like, holy fuck! Like who would spend that much of my income on these things? So I'm like, who is writing this shit? Because to me, if I spent what all those articles are saying, because they're all within a couple percentage points of each other. So when I break down my income and I'm like, all right, if I spent this on a car, if our mortgage was this, and if I was spending whatever monthly on groceries, food, and gas, I'd be fucking broke and miserable if I followed those rule of thumb percentages that you should be spending your income on.
Yeah.
I think it's all fucking bullshit. I think what we're dealing with is money is a fucking illusion. So it's you're in a
Well, it
cloud
used to be backed
reality
by
with-
gold, but
so that when was
Yeah,
that?
that jumped off the
1970 fucking 2. It's not. It's 2024. So there's no real meaning behind the money. It's cloud bullshit. And everybody's like freaks out about the national debt. And then you think about it and it's like the national debt, how much people owe, it's a
Well,
fucking illusion.
the
So
national debt is very
essentially,
real.
We
Just
have
no
a
one has
certain
called
amount
on
of,
it yet
Yeah.
so or then why not?
because we're
So we
still
have
the most powerful fucking
a
country
re-
in the world.
Why? I'm gonna tell you. We have people, just like Asia and India and China. People dictate debt. So unless you're gonna halt the fucking wheels on reality and how the life functions and turns, people are the represent. No way that you can turn that off. That's why people continue to focus on, if you're smart, like investing in the stock market or index funds or whatever else, because historically it never goes down, because people never stop going in a certain direction and growing in volume of what they buy and volume of how many of them there are. So until like the population starts to go in an opposite direction, growth is infinite and debt is an illusion. That's a very like broad stroke way of looking at it, but I have a 100% like proof rate historically of how you can. I can justify what I just said. Like historically.
So, but the first thing I would say is, if debt is an illusion, stop paying your mortgage and give it 3 months.
Yeah,
Debt's an illusion to people that don't want to pay it, but the banks are going to come and they're going to claim and they're going to evict. So, is it an illusion when it comes to the country and they owe
national debt? National debt is an illusion.
No.
Well, listen,
you still owe money. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
We do. You do. I do. Josh does. We do. The country, the economy, it doesn't. I don't believe in it.
Well, listen, and that's, it's one of those things. It's like, like bonds, right? What is a bond? A bond is a debt that that is secured and guaranteed, and it gets people an investment return, right? It's just that you used to feel better because the country was stronger back in the day. So now they're not
high yield, low yield, whatever.
Right? All those things. But I wouldn't go to the word say debt is illusion. So any dads out there that don't not stop paying your debts.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Please pay your mortgage.
Cut the shit. Stop paying your fucking bills, dads. That's the lesson.
That's it.
That's not the point. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that.
What are you saying?
And you're talking to someone who, no matter what, if debt is an illusion or not, like I get up and I fucking work hard because I want my kids to have things and stuff. Like it is what it is. Like I'm going to provide for them whatever I can, and I'm motivated and I'm not going to stop working. But I do believe that it's all fucking bullshit. I really do. Because in some way, shape, or form, money and the national debt is something that they're just going to infinitely fucking fuck up and increase, because people are going to keep expanding at an exponential rate. And until people stop growing, the amount of GDP or stuff isn't going to stop.
That number is,
there's always going to be more people
way
that need more
under
stuff.
What it used to be. People
no.
having way less children than 15, 20 years ago.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you can't afford it. You can't afford the housing. It's just overall, like, you used to be able to pay for college by working one summer job all summer, and you could pay for the whole next year of college. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
and it's the same way with housing.
My 2 kids are gonna spend more than your fucking 6 kids 100 years ago anyway.
All right.
So
there's a question for Joe. Joe, best method to invest money for a future college fund for your kids?
Well, a future college fund. So
let's talk low initial deposit, because I know not everybody's got 30 grand sacked away they want to put into an account.
Well, you can
stuff
start,
it in there.
You can start $25 a month. It doesn't have to be a lot, and you could put in and you could stop from month to month. It's the illusion that people used to think you need 20 grand, 30 grand because you're going and sitting down with a speaker. Right?
I think that's what scares a lot of dads away. They want to set their kids up for some sort of success, right? Because I think even some of us probably realized after college and all that settles, you're like, holy fuck, how am I going to pay this back? But looking at our kids' futures, it's 100 times worse. And I think exactly like what you said is there's a stigma that if you're going to do something like that, you need to have like a significant chunk of change ready to go to dump into something.
Yeah. $25 a month, and you start putting money away. You could do small, and there's different options. It kind of depends. Like, I have like some clients, and that are like, no, my kids are going to be doctors, so they use a 529 because they know that their kids are going to college, tuition. Now the 529 back in the day was a lot worse. Yeah.
If what I said is wrong, then how does compound interest work, Joe?
Well, compound interest is interest growing on top of interest.
And what has happened historically to the stock market since the beginning of its inception, Joe?
It continues to grow.
Why is that, Joe?
Well,
because our population continues to fucking grow, Joe. It's not going to stop.
Well,
get the fuck out of here. If you believe in compound interest and investing in the stock market, then you believe in what I'm fucking saying. Because otherwise you would say, it's all going to fucking crash and it's going to be a fucking shit show and we're all going to die. No, it's going to keep growing because people are going to keep fucking and it's all going to
you're taking, there are significant dips in there though.
I'm generalizing it. Yeah, okay. There's significant dips. And what happens long term, Joe, over the 40-year history, the 60-year history, the 80-year history of the stock market, Joe?
It grows.
It grows at 10% every year, right, Joe?
Well, you've got stocks. You've got stocks splitting.
What does it grow?
And you have more people buying that stock. It's not just the stock market goes up because it goes up,
which is riding. No. I'm riding the wave. I'm riding the.
I don't know what wave you're on, but I'm not on it.
What's the wave, Joe? Tell me what happens historically over the course of human events throughout the history of the stock market.
The stock market
it grows year over year. 10% index funds grow year over year, and you have dips and you have rises and you have dips and has rises. Why is that? Because people and society will continue to grow as long as
you're looking at this on way too grand of a scale. You've got macro things going on in the stock market that drastically affect the overall stock. You've got dipshits investing $20,000 and then getting fucking shorted and selling it off stupid cheap. I mean, there's so many factors you're just not counting for.
Jason,
let's go. 1929, 2024. Let's go further back. I mean, the inception of Wall Street, it just grows.
It's just money changing hands.
Ride an index fund.
Jason. If what you're saying is true, then explain the whole GameStop thing that happened.
Well, that was a short, dude.
No, it wasn't a market correction. It was because what it was the table got flipped, and the people who normally aren't on the winning side were starting to win, and then they froze it and they stopped it.
And then there was a market correction.
Same thing happened if you're looking at crypto. Same thing happened with fucking Dogecoin. A bunch of nobodies got together and it's significantly worth more than when it opened. It's
about Bitcoin. I mean,
Bitcoin's ridiculous, but Dogecoin still, dude. Dogecoin when it hit the market, it was I don't even remember how much. It was like 1,000th of a cent per coin.
Yeah,
sure.
And now I haven't checked the last one, but it's over. It's definitely into the cents now per coin.
But I didn't mention cryptocurrency.
No, but I'm just saying it's all.
I guess I asked Joe about the
Dogecoin's at 0.079 in case you want to know.
0.079. Okay, so 7 cents, 8 cents.
Yeah, basically,
but significantly.
No, listen, I understand what you're talking about, but I wouldn't utilize that and
generalization, but
but listen, we know it's going to grow, but I don't know if it's just because the population's growing. I mean, as things get more expensive, right? Like we were just talking about college, right? As those things get more expensive, listen, at the end of the day, whether people want to believe it or not, there's powers above. I don't mean God, but powers in the law making things that can change a lot very quickly. And school is expensive. It was not as expensive, right, Josh? You was talking about that. College, right? You used to be able to do it in the summer, and now that's not the case. And that's because the laws changed, right? And then, right, there is, right, the simple rule of anybody that you're ever talking about investing is just, right, you were talking about 10%, but people don't understand what 10% really means a lot of times, right? What does 10% on your money actually mean? Very simple. There's a rule called the rule of 72. And what you do is whatever interest rate you get on your money, you take that interest rate. It's 72 divided by that interest rate. And that's how many years it takes for our money to approximately double. So if you're getting 10% on your investments, on average, your investments would double every 7.2 years. right? So that's part of how compound interest works. So if I have 10 grand and I put it in and get 10%, my 10 grand is going to double to 20 grand in 7.2 years on average. Then if I double another 10 years, 7.2 years, it doubles again. Now I went from 20 to 40. So that's how money grows, right? So if that's a concept, right? The rule of 72. But because of how compound interest works, you're making money. Compound interest is interest, making money on interest already. So you make money, the interest is in the account, then you make money on your interest.
Joe, have you ever heard of a Ponzi scheme?
Yes, I think everybody has.
I'd like to welcome. Okay, yeah, it's all bullshit, Joe. But I appreciate what it is and what it isn't, and I'm happy to ride it out. It's exactly as ridiculous as a Ponzi scheme and as legitimate as what I said, which is that it'll never fail. It's somewhere in between, and it's all fucking bullshit. But I definitely see the validity of both, because people are not going to just give up. Like, life is not going to stop. So I think there's some validity to what I said, but I also think that there's some fucking some high risk bullshit to the whole thing, because what you're
you
saying
said it's never going to
is
crash.
only
So where's the
supported.
risk?
Because what Joe just described is nonsense. So like, so for it
that
to
did not answer my
double,
question.
for it to double every 7.5 years, like where's
That's
it
how it
coming
works.
from, man?
Because
It's a fucking Ponzi
the bank is
scheme.
putting your money to work while you invested in the bank. They're just putting it to work on a larger scale, so they're getting more money collectively,
They're taking
because
their
they have
money and
Joe's
putting it
money,
with my
Josh's money,
and
your
it's
money, and my
becoming their
money.
money, and that's a Ponzi scheme.
It's
Nick. You
not.
just described
It's
the Ponzi.
not.
That's not at all
And
what
it's
a Ponzi
not-
scheme is.
Not
Social
every
security is a
aspect of
Ponzi
the
scheme.
market
That's
fucking
is
right, Josh.
consumer driven. Like, a lot of it's technology driven. You saw that with like Tesla stock. It's not all driven by just the sheer population numbers.
Yeah. But Nick, I'll go back to your question earlier real quick. For college or schooling, $5.29, you can use a Coverdell education account.
The hell
Right,
are
and
these? See,
states-
I asked my bank, like a little credit union in Podunk, Richmond, and they give me like one type of account that would work for it. Maybe I'm just talking to the wrong bankers.
Maybe, yeah. So $5.29, it's federal and state tax free. You could write it off of your income as a tax deductible. You could put really almost as much as you want. I think it's 80 grand up in a 5-year period now. And it wasn't the best in the past because it was only really for tuition, but now you can utilize it for other things as well.
Like
And
housing and
2024
books even?
So you can use it for books. You can use it for OCs, like trade schools and stuff. Actually,
Oh,
they can
okay.
use a certain amount. If they use it for starting up businesses. So there's a lot of things that they changed over the last few years. And 2024, this new year, if the kid doesn't use all of it, you can actually convert up to 35 grand of it into their own Roth IRA, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
So that's a new.
Oh,
So
that's
I was
good.
not
I
a
like
big
that.
proponent of 529s up until this year. They started announcing that. They announced it about 6 months ago. The one I liked was a Coverdell education savings account. Could be invested in the same type of funds, right? Just like a Roth IRA or anything like that. But it's federal and state tax free. It's not tax deductible of your income, but you have more uses of it where you can utilize it for uniforms for private school. You can use it for an iPad that they need for school. Pencils,
So
basically
any
anything.
level of education sounds like.
Correct. Any for education.
Joe, what's a pencil? Can you tell the audience what is a pencil?
That's right there.
That bitch needs to be
Dude,
sharpened.
Get over and he'll show you.
There you
need to
go.
sharpen
That is a
that shit,
pencil. Right. Number
Better
two.
sharpen. In my business, I got a lot of customers that tell me, you got to tell your manager to sharpen his pencil. I need you to sharpen that pencil, Joe. All right. I need a better deal.
But number two pencils only. Number two pencils only.
Ah, damn it.
So Joe, I got a question about that Coverdell account. is the penalty not as bad with that as the 529 to pull your money out? Like if you decide just to pull your money out complete, because wasn't the 529 like 50% or something like that?
No, there's a penalty because if you take it out for not educational purposes, you're going to get taxed.
Right.
Right, and then you're going to get hit with a 10% penalty. So if your tax bracket says 25%, right, plus 10, now you're going to hit 35%.
Wow.
Now what you can do is you can transfer it from child to child, and a 529 you could actually use for you. Like, so let's say your kid said, "Screw it, Dad, I'm not going to school," but you're like, "Hey, I'm going to go get my master's." You could then transfer it to yourself.
Can you transfer to another tax exempt investment?
No, the only
not without the penalty.
Utilize is now a Roth IRA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you got to use it there. Coverdell is a lot more flexible, Josh. So to answer your question, like a lot of people use the Coverdell because, hey, you know, I'm not positive my kid's going to go to college. Right? I want to be able to maybe use it in middle school, private school, things like that. The downfall of that is you're only allowed to do $2,000 a year into it, so 167.
And I'm guessing the interest rate isn't as good.
No, so
right,
you have more choices with the Coverdell than the 529 because the 529 is based off your state. So if your state sucks, like New York, it doesn't get that great of an interest rate. Coverdell, you can invest in NVIDIA, right? We were just talking about Tesla. You can invest in a mutual fund, an ETF, an index fund that has that. The Coverdell is just the tax bracket, basically, that they lock it in. And then the other one, that a lot of families use is like an UTMA or an UGMA, UTMA or UGMA. It's not for education. It could be for car, house, anything like that. There's no limit on that, but it does get taxed at the child's rate, which is better than taxed at our
when
rate.
They use it?
Right.
When they decide to take it out, the downfall of that one, right? There's always everything's got great things, everything's got bad things. Depending on your state, either 18 or 21. Like in New York, when my son turns 21, it's under his full control. I have zero say over the money.
Oh man!
So
it's almost like northern states with a higher population pay more taxes, and then southern states get subsidized and they pay less taxes but have the same representation in the Senate. It's almost like that.
Where does your oil come from, Jason?
Green.
Wait, Joe. So if they can use it on the one you were speaking of, that they could use on a mortgage in the future, is that if they go to use that money on a mortgage, is it treated like the gift where there's a cap for how much somebody?
No, because
is it always just their money? Flat
it's
out?
Their money. You're just the custodian of the account until they no longer agree. Okay. So, like when my son turns 21, now I don't have to tell him he has the money, right? So he doesn't have to know about it until he's 35, until he's mature and right. And like, so what happens is, all right, well, if he's 21, he knows about it. I can't take it out. He can take it out.
Oh, so there's no, you can't bar them from touching that money at a certain point.
Once they're of age, it's under their control.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So, like, again, don't tell your kids that you set it up.
Yeah.
Right. And,
I was going to say, if your kid wants to open a strip club with that money, there ain't shit you can do about it. Right.
Exactly. Now, if you needed money from that, so let's say your kid's 18.
Oh, yeah.
You could take money.
I don't know why my head went there, but I was like, what's a really bad investment for a good chunk of money? Opening a strip club.
That's a really good investment.
I mean,
come on.
It's always going to be around, and you got to have money. So that's been around for anything.
Well, so what are the perks of investing in these type of accounts instead of just going out?
All right,
just
last question, and then I'm wrapping up because
for,
Joe's getting pummeled. This is a long episode.
To go instead of just open up an investment account and just invest in the S&P 500 or like a blue chip stock portfolio.
Well, because if you do it under your name, you're going to get taxed at your rate.
Yeah, but I got so it's taxed at my rate.
So
okay,
all those accounts, right? A Coverdell, an UTMA, a Roth IRA, right? A normal brokerage account that you're talking about. You can invest in the same exact fund. Same exact fund. The only difference is how the IRS taxes us on it and with the tax. That's the one. If you like, I'm just going to use Tesla, right? Just because we talk about,
Yeah.
I think you said Tesla.
Yes, I did.
Right? Tesla. Right. So if you like Tesla, you can invest in the Tesla in the Coverdell, the Tesla in a Roth IRA, Tesla in an UDMA, right? All this. So it's the same exact fund, the same exact investment return. The only difference is how we get taxed on and the qualifications and the laws behind it, on what code is.
Okay.
It's the only difference.
Okay. Okay, because I got this blue chip portfolio that I've been investing in for my retirement, and last year I got like a 32% return on it, and so I'm like,
Yes.
I'd love to
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Lost 50% the year before. I'm just
actually, well,
Ride the wave.
I don't actually. I have to go back and look. Actually, I'd have to go back and look because I don't think I really
Low,
lost
sell
that
high.
much in that one because.
It's time.
So, but
Oh, shit.
just keep buying.
All right, guys.
buying.
Holy shit. Long episode. Joe, thank you so much.
Yeah, but great
dude, I
information.
didn't know some of
though, man.
that
Great
shit.
info, man.
Jason,
Rock on.
stop poking the bear. But thank you guys for hanging out. We'll have to do another. We'll have to let you prep some, Joe, and give us some more nuggets of knowledge, because I know with your background you've got a lot of cool shit you can share with dads about being smart with money and all that jazz. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. We were going to talk about Taylor Swift. We still have
next
one more
one.
week before the Super Bowl, so maybe we'll squeak that episode in. But like, subscribe. Please come over to the Facebook group. Let us know what you guys like, dislike, what you want to hear about. Jason's hat says turd. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care, guys.
Like and subscribe. Let's go.